Hey, what's going on, guys? IC Trades here, and today we're going to be doing a technical analysis breakdown on ticker symbol UNH, UnitedHealth Group. And without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Question is, did it find a bottom, and will it continue to rally, or will it continue pulling back and falling into this major downtrend? And without getting too ahead on the daily chart, guys, we're going to go right into the weekly chart to get a broader perspective. Now, guys, here's a weekly chart of UNH. You can tell right off the bat, guys, very strong stock at first, right? IPO'd. It's like a mountain, climbing a mountain, up, 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 and up until it found that high of around 625. You see, it's going up, it's consolidating quite a bit here around this 545 and 432 range for, every candle here is a week. So we're very zoomed out. It's a long period of time here, guys, where it's consolidated between this level of 545 and 432. Buyers push it up, sellers push it down. Bouncing off this range here, guys, and we finally find a breakout and get to the all-time highs of 625, 65. And we're consolidating a bit, guys, until we flush. We hit this support level, bounce off of it, get rejected at that. Once was support, turn resistance. Once was past resistance, back to real-time resistance. Reject off that level, making this somewhat support as we go down, descending support. Bounce off that, try to get above that again. 1 week, get above it. 2 weeks, try to close above it again, get rejected. Get back down to that 432 support. That doesn't hold, and we flush, guys, seeing a major sell-off all the way down to around this 254 limit here, guys. And now we're in a very interesting spot. The question is, did we find a bottom at this 254.07 spot where, it was a very hard resistance marker in the past, turned to support, price tries to get over it, goes over for about 2 months, gets rejected, gets over it finally, turning that very hard resistance into support. UNH overall was a very strong stock for a while until it found this recent spot of weakness where we've seen this stock just kind of get crushed. Sellers been in major control as of recently after topping around that $625 point. See this major sell-off, this bearish red engulfing candle leading to this full-on sell-off all the way down to that 254 level. And we can take a quick look on the monthly to get a better view here. IPO'd. Lots of consolidation, small spikes, consolidate like a mountain now, guys. Uphill like a mountain. A little bit of consolidation, a little small pullback, then boom, out of that into that consolidation range we were talking about, reaching all-time highs and drastic sell-off all the way down to where that stock really picked up that steam, guys. And every candle here is a month, very zoomed out here, but just paints the picture. It was once a very strong stock, almost no signs of stopping. We see it consolidate, see that it has some selling pressure around these areas, gets to that all-time high, and we see some major selling pressure. Now, guys, on the daily chart, you can see this is the consolidation range we were looking at on the weekly. Large consolidation range, gets above it, all-time highs. See that descending support, bounce. Buyers try to push it higher, knock off that limit at 545. Buyers try to push it higher again, get above it for some time, get rejected hard with that gap down and red candle. Get below this overall support at 432 following that descending support, but that descending support flushes, can't hold. You would want to see a bounce off here in the bullish perspective. Doesn't happen. We flush that gap down once again. Gap down 2 major support levels, right? We try to get above that 545, gap below that. We flush very easily at that 432 level, not even a candle trying to hold. And then we gap down once again, another major support where we touch a couple times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Try to touch again, flush that support. So, guys, we're in a very interesting spot now around this 254-ish level. Seemingly, we found a bottom, right? As we saw on the weekly charts, quickly going back, this was major resistance turned to support. And now we're right back at it, guys. So, the way that this is forming after that gap down, we see 2 pretty strong red candles, another gap down, but then look at that buying pressure as that candle, very thin hammer-like candle with lots of buying pressure when the sellers try to push it below that support level. Long bottom wick, guys, which means a lot of buying pressure. On the inverse, right, if it had a very tall wick at the top, that would be a lot of selling pressure. And then from that wick, guys, you see another bullish type of candle. The buying pressure again, sellers try to push it lower, buyers gain control, forming this longer body candle. And from that, we see a candle just like that one, continuation higher, reaching around this, kind of descending resistance. Get tight in this range, And we are at a pivotal point now, guys. Very pivotal point between this descending resistance and this ascending support. The question is, how long can stock really hold this position before making a big move? Personally, I think it is a 70 to 75% chance that we break out here. Try to test and fill this gap up range. Try to get above this support level, this one support level here. Try to get above that, hold that, ultimately back up to where we were, guys, around that $432 price. I think the odds that we flush this resistance here and play around, I mean, it's possible we could play around, bounce off this support again, continue our way up. Definitely a possibility, guys, but we could, I think, be looking at a squeeze here, get a nice move up. Because, guys, when you see a very quick sell-off like this, very drastic, fast sell-off with these giant gap downs, sellers in control, if we can regain that strength as bulls, we have a lot of room to climb. We have a lot of room to make up for. If the bulls can gain control, I think we have a lot of upside potential. We are in this pennant type of formation forming and getting very tight, looking to short squeeze out and fill that gap, getting back to that 432 level, regaining that control. Definitely a possibility, guys. The chance that this stock actually goes under, it flushes this major once resistance turns support level of around that 255 range, I think is pretty unlikely if we see stock continue to fall here. I think it is very unlikely given the formation that we're in. And guys, you see in recent times, price in a back and forth battle with that 20-day moving average, getting above it, below it, above it, below it, can't really hold it. A giant gap down and flush didn't help, and we are still trending slightly below it. And overall, we are under that 200 moving average, which is never a great sign to see when trading a stock. UNH has gotten very beat up with this sell-off, guys, but I think there is a lot of hope for short-term bullish momentum and a big move up. Given this formation, given how tight we are actually getting on this daily chart, you just see the impression of these candles, right? Very volatile. And then we see extreme buying pressure followed by a few nice moves up and then a very tight consolidation phase, guys. This isn't your average consolidation. This is an extremely tight phase on the side of a bullish move up and ultimately trying to retest that final 432 level. You'd want to see it try to regain this ascending support, not get knocked down by it. Keep an eye on those levels and a breakout of this pennant-like structure, squeezing and finally breaking out. On the flip side, if bears do gain control, keep an eye on that support level around 255 region where it could bounce off and continue its move up. And if it can't do that, guys, there's always a possibility it goes lower. Nice support and led to this nice rally up all the way pretty much to this consolidation zone and then all-time highs. So the chance that it holds is very, very strong, especially after depicting that large buying pressure of that candle here when we try to get pushed below it. Just keep an eye on that, guys. I think it is very unlikely that we see a larger move down and below that support level, but always a possibility. You got to play both sides here and be completely unbiased. But overall, guys, I'm liking what I'm seeing on a bullish perspective on the daily and the weekly time frames. I think we will squeeze out of this pennant-like formation and continue our way higher, reclaiming this descending support and ultimately that level of 432, trying to fill these gaps where price just got very volatile in this drastic sell-off where sellers gained full-on control. Keep an eye on that pennant, guys, and a squeeze out for a larger move up. Take you to the hourly, we get a much better view of the pennant that's actually in, right? The gap down like we saw, and then we are in this pennant itself. You see, reach the top of that resistance, get shot down as we were in the midst of that giant sell-off. Huge gap down, that huge gap to fill. Price gets shot down, hits that support level. After hitting that support level, rallies up, fills that gap, and reaches the top of that resistance once again, very close to the top of that resistance, not fully touching it, getting very close to it, gapping slightly down. And then you see, guys, how tight price actually gets. Volatile nature here, gets up there and then doesn't want to get pushed back down into another drastic sell-off move, right? Gets tight, price gets tight, 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 until we ultimately meet the meeting of that support as well as that resistance, looking to squeeze out of this formation, guys. So hourly kind of confirms what we're seeing on the daily. Overall, we can't deny that large sell-off, right? Very large sell-off and bearish control. Sellers had full-on control of the stock for some time. Always keep that in mind when trading a stock like UNH, but as we see very strong support at that level, forming this very clean pennant type structure, looking to squeeze out. I'm liking what I'm seeing, guys, on the short-term aspect of this thing, especially considering this was a very strong stock in the past, as you see on the weekly and the monthly chart, giving it better perspective. Very strong stock overall, guys. So we do see a nasty sell-off. Got to keep that in mind, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, guys, on a shorter term perspective, ultimately trying to fill that gap and finally get over that, consolidate, and possibly reach that 545 where would be in the region of getting back to all-time highs. So guys, if you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, consider liking and subscribing, as I will continue to cover UNH as well as other major tickers on the channel. Trade smart, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.